Camera, lights,
action.
Why are you drinking hot Baileys?
This is not hot Baileys. Are we recording? This can stay in.
That's
very milky.
That's very milky,
Very
mate.
milky. Right, I'm just pouring milk. Episode 76.
Oh, hang on, have we started?
Yeah, that's
Good morning.
the start.
Good morning, good morning,
What is
good morning.
going on?
What is going on with your coffee?
I am not sure whether I remembered to put the shot of coffee in. I reckon there is a small espresso cup with a shot. That just looks like warm milk.
That looks milky.
Did you nod off halfway through the podcast?
Basically, I left my travel mug at home, and I
Right.
make coffee at home and bring it in, and I've got it. But then this morning, I've had to bring this rather battered bottle, and I think I've just poured milk into my... I've got hot milk.
Well done.
Good morning, welcome to episode 76. We are
That has
well-oiled
got the
machine.
best start ever. How are you?
Do you want mine? I've got two.
I'm all right. I'll have my hot milk. You enjoy that.
Exactly.
I'm very well. How are you?
Crazily busy, but all good.
Yeah, I saw you yesterday.
You
He was
did.
on camera filming videos, talking the
I
talk.
was.
I'd even dare say walking the walk.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I even got Michelle in front of the camera.
My favourite was when you did a video about turning it off and on again. You got to lean into these things, don't you?
I've got to lead it. To laugh, but you can.
You do. You do.
Absolutely.
It's a bit of
absolutely.
social media content.
Anyway, I've got a surprise for you.
I know you got someone over here. What's your name? Where do you come from?
Thanks. Hi, my name's Jamil Albarq. I'm from the top floor. I work for CER Education. So I'm the divisional manager for that.
So when you mean top floor, it means here at Business
Yes,
Central
top floor.
in the building.
Floor
Penthouse.
3. What does CER do?
So we are one of the UK's largest supply agencies. So we work with a range of schools against primary, secondary, SEN, and just work with them, helping them with their staffing.
Wow.
Wow. Busy then, I can imagine. What
Always.
area do you serve? Where
So I look after Darlington and York, so it kind of covers all the way from kind of York all the way through Yorkshire up to kind of Stockton, across to Redcar, across to like wherever. And then we've got another office in Newcastle that kind of covers
right.
from the Scottish borders all the way down. So we're a national company, we're massive, but I look after Darlington and York, so it's a privilege.
I must be honoured. I must be honoured. No,
Honoured,
you're
you
honoured.
can be honoured if you want to.
I must be honest. I've never heard of CER, but obviously you must be in a particular region for area for schools and education, which is probably why I've never heard of you. So why Darlington? Because you've only just recently moved in, haven't you?
So we've been in Darlington for the last 9 years.
Ah, right.
So initially I worked in Newcastle for a year. Then I'm from Darlington, so we set up an office. And then we've literally just spread, developed business, and then grown. So I'm a Darlington boy, so I had to kind of set up here, basically.
It is a full office, by the way, upstairs.
It is a full office. It is a full office with
I'll have to
7 of us
go
in
for that.
total.
Right, okay.
Just listen for the crazy people shouting. That's
the
upstairs.
I did hear
Crazy
some noises
people.
when I was up there. I was walking around with laptops trying to find Andy.
Yeah,
that'll
exactly
be
right.
us.
So yeah, I had to develop a knock so you'll answer the door.
Oh.
But I can't share it with you.
Well, I've knocked on the door a couple of times, and he just lets his son answer the door. And
Yeah,
never answers to me,
he's
so.
usually on the phone, isn't he?
I'm playing darts, one of the two.
Hey, yeah, got to play darts.
Yeah, he does that on the phone actually.
I
as
do.
well. What's that noise? And it's when someone's shouting 180. No, you never get that, do you?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, Dan has scored 2 180s last week and one this week.
Oh well.
We're getting better.
I need to come up for some more darts.
More darts practice.
Well, it's fantastic to meet you and fantastic to have you in. How long have you been in this building then?
Since December. So a few
yeah.
months, really, 4 months. It's been good. Met Andrew when he kind of helped us set up with all the Wi-Fi. We were having a bit of hassle with the Wi-Fi now, weren't we, when we first came in? So a bit of a saviour, weren't you?
Absolutely. It was like, can you help? And I was like, yeah, and we got it all down.
Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a tricky. We've done an episode dedicated to Wi-Fi.
Blackout.
Yeah, we have. And Mark, who will be listening, hello, Mark. He actually, so he was on. He was a truck mechanic, basically.
Okay.
He managed to set up his home Wi-Fi network, change the SSID, the name and everything, just by listening to the podcast.
So
That was quite, we were pretty happy with that.
Helpful tips, no? Of course.
Yeah, so it's now named like "Do not log onto this Wi-Fi," sort of thing, or "Go away neighbours," or whatever you want it to be.
Fair enough.
Okay, so in a nutshell, you obviously source teachers for schools. Are they permanent? Are they temporary?
So we do, our main kind of thing is temporary staffing, so supply
Right,
staffing.
okay.
But because of kind of how we're set up, we're like linked to like a government framework, so schools can then take them from a temporary position into a permanent position. So it's basically it's win-win in a way. And I look at suppliers like, and I always sell it as it's like a long-term job interview for the candidates, because they can go in, the teachers, if they like the school and the school like them, they can get kept on. If they're going to a school, they don't like it, they can leave. So it's a case of like they can pick and choose where they want to go. And nowadays, sometimes you'll get stuck in a school and you think, oh God, I've made the wrong decision, I don't want to be here, this, that and the other. Whereas when you're on temporary, you can kind of choose where you
Yeah,
want
I
to
suppose
So it's
so.
predominantly supply teaching.
Supply
You've
teaching,
just made
teaching
me go
assistants.
back to school.
Yeah.
Right. There was a gentleman, and people who went to my school will know this gentleman. He used to come in with a block of wood,
go. Right? Okay.
which he had in his rucksack. So what he did is put his rucksack on the table. He's a nice bloke, but if the class was being too rowdy, he'd just slide his hand into this rucksack, and he'd pull out this block of wood and smash it on the table. And you used to like fall off your chair if you like weren't aware. Yeah, you weren't aware with it.
You were sleeping.
That was like his approach to getting control of the class
Nice,
back in the
okay.
day. Yeah, that used to catch us out, but I'd never thought about that until you just said that. But no, I
None
think
of that now. No way.
no, absolutely not.
You
But,
get escorted off the premises.
yeah, I
you
mean,
would.
I've had the pleasure of working and coaching in schools over
You
the
have,
years. We
yeah.
work with a few education establishments at the moment, which is absolutely brilliant. And Adam is in school right now, photographing and videoing as we speak.
The better looking at him.
Yes, the other Adam. We talked about this yesterday.
It's actually car time.
We're getting so there's two Adams.
Okay.
And Adam's got long hair and I'm bald. So you've got baldy Adam, hairy Adam, beardy Adam, not because
Better looking Adam.
better looking Adam,
Older Adam.
intelligent Adam we're getting. And then we've even got clients going, yeah, we need to talk to big Adam or little Adam.
So you've sent a better looking Adam into schools.
Yeah,
basically,
and I'm
right?
blaming
Okay.
Andy.
Oh, yeah.
So better looking Adam is in the schools today. It's photograph and media. But I think, I think for me, the teaching element and getting that right in terms of when you've got a member of staff off sick or you've got a period of vacancy, getting that person the right person in the right place for those kids is really important. So what are the sort of things that you look at when you're working with teachers?
I think the best thing is always to ask the schools. The schools tell us what type of candidates or teachers they want. They'll describe, obviously, specific needs. So, for example, if it's a secondary school, they want a subject specialist. So we'll always try our best to do that. But I think sometimes personality fits. It's like, obviously, when you've got some of the maybe the more challenging schools, you always want to put someone in there who's a bit more lively, a bit more boisterous, rather than someone who's a bit timid. Because
Or
you
carries
know
a block of wood around
all
with
kinds of block of wood around. But ultimately, it's just kind of finding that, and through experience, you kind of get to know who you want and whatever. Some of the consultants will go in and do like voluntary days, so they'll go in and actually have a look around the school and do a day there, just to get a kind of feel for it and stuff like that. Because I came from a teaching background, I kind of already know kind of who and what to expect in schools and stuff. But some of the consultants I've got haven't been in a school before, other than them being at school.
Yeah.
So it's just great, just getting them to go in, do a voluntary day, and then just goes from there. Builds relationships as well for the schools, so it's great. It's a
No,
great way of
absolutely.
getting
So you said you come from a teaching background. What did you do?
So I used to be a PE teacher. Taught for 10 years, worked my way up to kind of senior leadership. Did it for 10 years in total. Then I did a little bit of supply for the company who we are now at the time, and then never looked back. Got offered a maternity cover for a year as a consultant, and then they just kept me on, and then that's when I moved to Darlington.
So they were
and
like,
script.
supply the supply.
Supply, yeah. Great corner of the market.
Yeah, absolutely. You're perfect candidate then as
Absolutely.
the supply
That's
teacher.
that's a really interesting journey, actually, taking that. I mean, what was that adjustment like going from obviously teaching to...
I mean, I've done kind of sales before, but I think when the job that we do now, it's like, it's customer service, it's customer experience, it's like just looking after people. So I'd already done kind of a few of those jobs. But ultimately, I love teaching, and I still do. I kind of miss it a little bit, the interaction with the students and stuff like that. I got to play football every day, basically. I wore shorts, so it's brilliant. I mean, not in the winter, but obviously
but
I had
I
a
know
great
what you
time
mean.
in the summer. It kind of stopped just there, basically. But no, it was great. I mean, I love teaching, I love the education. I think people that go into education, you do it for the care of the kids.
Oh, God,
you don't
absolutely.
go in it for the money's not the best when you're education or whatever. But no, it's great, because obviously that was my USP. Ultimately, it was like, I was a teacher. I know what you like. I know what you want. So give us a go. And it just kind of expanded. It's great.
That's really
Transition was
good.
good.
Yeah.
Coaching cricket was much... Sorry, just to come back to the coaching. I used to love coaching cricket in the summer because you'd do your drills and things like this, and I'd be like, can we have a game? And you're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll just make sure that I stand in the various aspects of the pitch to work on my tan, making
Yeah.
sure that it's...
No, I'm going to play this part now. I'm going to be silly leg off.
Yeah. So,
Rugby was the best for me. Remember, I don't know if you remember Gladiators, where they had the gauntlet where you had to run through all the
Yes.
gladiators in
Yeah.
the pad. So I was always the one right at the end, so no one got past us. It was good.
How was your rugby?
We lost at the weekend. I don't know. It's fine.
I'm going
Right,
to
left.
demand my stuff back.
No, you're fine. You're okay. I'll just hang on to it. He's my player sponsor. We were winning up until Christmas, and every week he's been like, "Did you win? Did you win? Did you win?" And we were winning. We lost one game.
Right.
Now we just had bad run due to
After bad
availability.
run and
so
bad
that's
run,
what he's
bless
going
yous.
on
I
about.
thought you meant it was a bad run because he started sponsoring you.
No, unfortunately, I can't blame him.
No.
I would if I could, but I can't. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, so PE teacher into this side. So, and obviously you touched on sales and skills that you're having to touch on there. So what's the sort of how are you finding schools? How are you like reaching out to them? How are you getting in touch with them?
Yeah.
How's that all work for you?
Through various methods, really. Obviously, picking up the phone and having a conversation with people or trying to get hold of them is a great way, obviously, of doing it. I massively encourage that way. Obviously, people are speaking to people. It's how relationships are formed, ultimately. Spec mailers, emails going out. We've got stuff that, obviously, we hand deliver. We do drops and visits. So we actually go out as part of the job, which, again, is the best part of the job is when you're out and about. People buy from people, so when you're meeting people face to face, it's a great way of doing it. So I think the initial contact is obviously over the phone, emails, and kind of spec mailers and stuff like that. Then we go out, meet them in person, and then just how you form relationships. Ultimately, it's good.
It's good.
I always ask that to people because it's interesting to see what people say, and you're right about the relationship. That's the key one, because you can do all the pushiness that you want in a sales technique or whatever you're trying to do in business. But actually, you just need to get to meet people. That's what we talk about with networking.
100%,
for example,
mate.
Making sure you're not handing your business card over before you've introduced yourself, which is what I've had done to me before, if that makes sense. Making sure you're getting to know people and understand, and then understanding your fit, I suppose, to themselves.
Absolutely.
So you said CER is throughout the UK. So how many offices do you have?
We say 10 in total.
Gosh.
So we're CER Education, but we're part of a bigger umbrella called Affinity Workforce Solutions. But under that, we're one of the biggest kind of privately run recruitment agencies. So we've got Monarch Education, we've got Career Teachers, got Sugarman. So they're based all over the country. So we've got loads of different businesses all doing education recruitment. And through that, we've become kind of like the UK's #1 managed service provider, which probably doesn't mean a lot to kind of people when I'm speaking to them about it until I've explained it. But ultimately, we're part of a government framework which enables us to tender for like multi-academy trust business. So obviously clusters of schools where they'll give us kind of their staffing or supply needs, and we'll fulfil that. And if we can't fulfil that, we then have a supply chain that we've already built and got in place. So ultimately, it makes us like a one-stop shop for supply teachers ultimately and staffing, and schools buying into that. Procurement measures, obviously financial regs and stuff like that are massively important now to schools and multi-academy trusts, and we can obviously, we've got a way around that with the government framework, and the systems that we have in place for that. So it's a pretty good way of doing business,
solving a headache, I suppose,
Yeah.
and offering that one-stop shop.
We've become basically a volume business where you've got some agencies potentially that'll make a lot of money potentially on one person.
Yeah.
We've become a volume business, so we get everything now and we make small margins, but that's how we've grown our business, and that's how we've managed to spread across the UK, basically.
That's really good. Really good model that in terms of what you're saying. And again, I want to pick up the point.
Your phone just bleeped. That's very naughty.
That's very naughty. I'm normally exceptionally good at that. I apologise about that. Let me sort that out.
He says that in the first 6 episodes.
It's
he
constant.
was like locking it all off and turning it off, and every time it was going off, and he couldn't work out why. If it wasn't his phone, it was his watch.
You told me to leave my phone upstairs so it doesn't go off. You told me
Did
that.
you?
Yeah,
I did.
That's
yeah,
rich.
absolutely. Rich coming from me.
Yeah. Oh well, there we go.
So one of the things that I picked up on, certainly, you know, since you've been in the building, is obviously I hear a lot of your staff like wandering up and down the corridor.
Sorry.
No. Honestly, it's fine.
The Geordie one, he's the loudest. Sorry.
Absolutely, he's very loud. But what I do want to say is that whenever I hear them, I believe they're talking to the teachers. They're always very respectful, always very, open. It's almost like they're your friends type thing. It's not like, oh, hello, I'm Andy, I'm coming to talk to you, Jamil. It's always like, oh, hi, Jamil, how you doing? How's the kids? Stuff like that. So that's a really nice atmosphere that I can hear.
Yeah, and it is. And I think, it's relationships. And the candidates or the teachers, they don't have to work for us, ultimately. I'd like to think that they want to work for us because, we offer them a good service, and obviously we offer them the right type of work and stuff. And that's just about, like I said, it's always about relationships. And if someone rings in the morning, the consultants go back to them before the end of the day. If someone's got a question they need answering, we answer the phones. And they wander up and down. I don't mind them wandering up and down on the phones and stuff like that. I think sometimes a bit of a change of scenery is sometimes nice. So they'll go and sit out in the corridor way a little bit, and it's just a bit of a change of scenery sometimes. But they're on the phones. They've got the apps on the phones, and I don't mind that. So
I'm going to walk about. You play darts?
Absolutely. I'm not going to argue.
I walked in the other day with a device to hand over, and Andy was there, slotting the darts.
But talking to my customer.
Talking to the customer. But it's like, I agree, sometimes a bit of movement. And also when you've been sat on the computer working, actually being able to move and take a phone call. I took one looking out at the train station building.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going on while I was on the phone yesterday. So I get that. One question I've got then. So obviously if it's supply, how many times do you get the sort of the last minute phone call, as in someone's called in sick today, I can imagine that being like, whoa, how do we respond to this and do it effectively? Because that's one phone call from school. You've then got to go and find someone. So how do you manage that? And then the other one is, how often do you actually get the notice that they need a supply?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. I mean, I think we're very organised and we have to be. So the night before, all the consultants have got their list of available teachers and teaching assistants. So they've got a list of people for in the morning. As soon as the school calls, we know this person's available, we know this person's available, and then we'll get them there and then.
Right.
We've got a bit of a procedure in place where candidates have to let us know 7:15 at the kind of the earliest and the latest that they have to let us know that they're calling in sick, and again we'll replace them with whoever we've got, check in with the schools. But a lot of the schools now are so good at kind of pre-planning stuff, so we'll get a lot of pre-books in terms of the schools will contact us before. But yeah, there's the occasional sick day where the schools will ring and go, right, I'm panicking about this person calling, about this person calling.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's not like wacky races. I think because we've got a good candidate base and we've got a good knowledge of where all the schools are, we'll always get the people that go the closest, because on a morning, the teacher's totally rushing to get somewhere. They're just like, we always say, within a half an hour remit. And if we ring them, say at like quarter to 8, they've still got 45 minutes or an hour to get somewhere. So we've got good systems in place. We've got good how we track the candidates. And again, it comes back to those relationships where we know that they're free and they're already going to work for us, for example, so we know we can rely on them to go to those schools.
I love that.
Absolutely.
That's a great answer, because I was
answer.
thinking, like, if you get a phone call at 7:30 in the morning, how do you manage that? And it's good to understand. Are you using technology to look at the availability and things like that? What you're doing?
So we've got quite a good CRM. We've got a good scheduling kind of package that we kind of look at and work in. But again, it comes down to those conversations the night before, maybe a text message, are you available tomorrow, and kind of stuff like that as well. And they update their availability as they're going along, and that's why it's crucial to have these conversations with the teachers when they're having those conversations.
Definitely.
So,
I also notice you're like us, you're very early in the morning, aren't you?
7:15 in the morning we come in.
to deal with that.
It's part and parcel, but we do work long hours during the school term, but the reward is obviously ultimately they get reduced hours during the holidays, and we do get extra holidays, more than normal, I would say, in terms of the job that we do and stuff, because we need it, because the new consultants that come in, they don't want to take holidays. I've got one in particular, Luke, he doesn't want to be at home, he wants to be in the office, and I'm like, as good as that is, and I get it, and it's brilliant, and it's a great mentality, but he'll burn himself out ultimately, and he needs to have a bit of downtime and stuff as well. But yeah, we come in 7:15, and the schools are already ringing in between 7 and 7:15 anyway, so it's bish bash bosh when we first come in.
Yeah, I've noticed that. They're all on the phone when I walk past at 7, 7:15. Yeah.
I'm then ready on the coffee for them. I'm like, tea, coffee, and that. Yeah,
He's very good at that as well. He has his little dolly apron.
Yeah, no, I do. It'll be better than the one that you've got. There'll be coffee in it at least.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of coffee in there, by the way.
It's fine to get
I don't know whether I just put too much milk in it.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I don't know what I've done this morning. Everything. My wife's got a lovely coffee in her travel mug. Maybe I just put. Maybe she's got 2 shots of coffee. Maybe that's what I did. The kids were asking me questions as I was doing it. This is why
I was like, distraction.
Working from home would potentially be a problem, right?
Corrie is now fully loaded with 2 coffees.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much milk in it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
So,
exactly.
It tastes good.
It's good. So also I've noticed on a Friday, the office is empty.
Yeah.
And is that because you've switched off and gone home?
No. I wish. No, so sometimes obviously we go up to our Newcastle office.
Right.
So our regional director's based up there. We've got a big office in Newcastle as well. So got a big team up there. We've got an SCN team up there as well. So we all go up, and it's nice just to kind of interact with each other and mingle. And again, it's about maintaining those relationships with our
really
colleagues.
Nice to hear.
We obviously have to share candidates. So while there's a bit of an overlap here and there, it's good to have those relationships so we can have those conversations. It makes it easier. It's like if I don't know who you are in particular, I'm going, oh, how are you? And can I borrow that person? Then you're going to be a bit like, no,
he's mine.
No,
yeah, exactly.
But no, it works. We have that.
It's really nice.
Across the 2 offices.
So obviously, what I'm guessing and what I'm hearing is good team morale.
Yeah.
And as I say, I speak to all the lads and the ladies there, and they all seem in chipper form every morning. Some of them are stressed.
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
But that's the job.
A happy office is a productive office.
Oh, God, absolutely, absolutely. I also notice you throw yourselves into all of the events from Darlington. The Valentine's thing, that was love hearts everywhere. They had drapes through the door.
Yeah. I didn't see that.
It was Love Week. We had Love Week across the entire business. So
you didn't just celebrate, but you created Love the Week.
It was the week. Yeah. No, I'll just take as much love as I can get ultimately. But no, so we basically paired up and stuff, and people had to do nice things for each other. So it wasn't necessarily had to buy things for each other and this, that, and the other, but it was like doing nice, kind like acts of kindness and stuff like that as well. So I mean, I kept everyone hyper on Haribo's and whatever else. We went downstairs to our office on the first floor and did some crazy games, teamwork. I did secondary versus primary. It gets quite competitive. And
Is that that one?
Yeah, the ones at the end.
Right, so...
That's the noisy one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So I walked past that week going... What is going on in there? Was it bowls? You played bowls, didn't you?
We did head catch. So basically, if I say head, you have to catch it, and if I say catch, you have to head it. And it was great. And the girls won, the ladies won, because obviously big Geordie footballer was like, no, I'll do this. And like the girls won, and it was brilliant. Like they were really good, and just it's more listening skills other than kind of
of course.
Now I understand who's responsible. When I say responsible, it was hilarious. So I'm walking out, and the room was empty for a bit. The sign went up. I saw that. And then, were you in the window taking phone calls at one point?
Possibly.
Yeah. There's someone sat facing out the window. I'm like, there's someone in there. So I must have seen the back of your head. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm walking past and there's these games going on. And I was like, what do they do? It sounds amazing. Right, so I understand that.
We're doing domes and dishes as well. And like,
domes and dishes.
Just take me back to my PE days. It's just different things like that. Just keep them entertained.
Toilet tag, did you ever do that one?
No.
So
do that.
It's like stuck in the mud.
Right.
But when you're tagged, you've got to sit like you're on the toilet with your arm up in the air, and they have to flush you to set you free. Toilet tag, kids love it.
Okay.
Because it's toilet humour.
I thought you meant you were just playing tag in the toilet.
No. I
was thinking we'll all bring curries in and then we'll have a big curry together and toilet tag.
That's from the kids were like, I don't want to play stuck in the mud, I want to play toilet tag.
Good.
So
good.
So there's one for you. Keep that in the back.
Well, maybe you can come in there and do it with us.
I mean, it might be a bit older, the audience. But
they'd love it. They'd love it. Honestly, they'd love it.
But I coach the under-10s rugby at the moment.
Right.
So we're doing... you should do head, shoulders, knees, toes, cone or ball or whatever ends in the middle. That's quite hilarious because you end up having a scrap.
Yeah. We did that with a bottle, and there was a lot of cheating going on. There was a lot of
there was a huge
rather than standing up, there was a lot of bending down going on and stuff like that.
But that's half the fun, though, isn't it? And I must admit, the times that I do walk past when it's a quieter time, it's always jovial, jolly, and we're the same. As I say, me and Dan, when we're sort of like getting a break from work or on the phone, like, right, come on, let's have a quick game of darts, or we'll play the basketball, or we'll play the golf, because you've got to switch off. You've got to be able to go like, right, fine, I'm doing that.
And it's great, and we do as much as we can together. So we'll go off together, we'll have breakfast together. I mean, you saw them all on the lift, didn't you? So they all go out together at 9 o'clock, go for breakfast, and it's just a case of, again, it's just you bounce off each other, and I think when one's having a bad day, you can tell that, and then the other people will pick them up and stuff like that as well. But yeah, there is a lot of kind of fun in the office, but they do know when to work, and
they do.
They do know where the line is and stuff like that as well.
I'd say most people know when to work. It's actually the other stuff that you've really got to. Like yesterday, I mean, Alina, bless us, over there. Morning. Alina's over there cracking on with the edit, and Alina will be straight onto the edit, and then we're got another podcast this morning, and then we've got a gap this afternoon, so she'll probably be editing, and then we've got a meeting at 4, and then we're shooting an event tonight. Wow. You know, so it's like a full day today for us. But I'm equally like, we need to talk about this. When do you want to take some time back?
Exactly.
You know, so I think because it's important to make sure that you get the balance.
You know, she's gone now. She's gone.
Yeah, she's left. But the other week, I got lunch for the team. For example, I got some lunch in, and we're doing a campaign for us. Got some lunch in. We held that. I think it's so important to get out and just step away every now and then.
It's the little things I think that we can do for the team and stuff like that obviously keeps them going.
No, exactly. And what I say, we've said this before. So every Thursday, we have 4 o'clock wine o'clock. And it's like we bring one bottle of wine, and obviously we're all driving, so it's all done responsibly. So so it's a tiny little thing. But we literally say to the guys, and Michelle, I said, listen, if you want to switch off, just, if a phone call comes in, we need to take it. Yeah. But that 4 o'clock is like, all right, how's your week been, Adam? And Jamil, what's been troubling you this week? And it just lets everybody relax, release. And you have a little glass of wine, so you're thinking, hey, this is great, but it is really, really important because it builds up that trust, and it builds up that, and it makes everybody just feel so nice. Everybody's looking forward to it. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Something to look forward to, something to kind of switch off towards. Yeah, get it, good.
What strategies have you employed then on that in terms of team building or bringing new people into the team? What sort of things do you go about?
Well, to be fair, in terms of when I bring the people into the team, so we've got a process where kind of we'll interview them first, and then we'll invite them into the office. And I actually don't then at that point spend any time with them. I let the team spend the time with them. It's the team ultimately that needs to decide whether or not they're going to be a good fit. So that's obviously bringing in the new people per se. But again, we do a lot of team stuff. Obviously, we'll break it up. Aaron does. He's one of my senior consultants. He does stuff on a Wednesday where I'll just do some like daft things, like daft games, whether it's like Pictionary or describe this or what am I and stuff like that. And again, it's just primary versus secondary and stuff like that. And it just gets everyone kind of up for the day, midweek, hump day, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's good. We do loads of stuff across the business as well. So again, we'll go up to Newcastle every other Friday. And then we have an annual conference where all our companies come together.
Wow.
This year it's in Manchester. We get to stay over. Obviously get food and there's awards, recognitions and stuff like that across the business. So it's a really good event. And again, you get to see people from the other businesses.
Of course, yeah.
That you maybe don't see as much as you maybe want to or whatever. And it's just a great day in total for the annual conference.
It's nice, isn't it?
I love that.
It's a brilliant business
The fact that
to
you
work
bring
for.
it all together.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I love that idea.
Yeah, we were very much involved in the early days with Lane 7, who was one of my customers, and they do exactly the same, where they literally say, right, we'll spend a day in Newcastle for the events. Last year it was Manchester, the year before, whatever, and they have an awards evening. We were very lucky when we very first got there. We were invited, and it's a lovely, you get dressed up, tux, there's loads of food, and then you get to see the winner of the best event or whatever. And again, and going back to what you were saying, Jamil, it's competitive, but it's in a good way.
Totally.
But everybody's going, but I want to be the best. I want to win that award next year. So it is, and the way that Lane 7 ran it was really good because they rewarded you for your hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that the other things we've got in place is like, so if like an office hits their quarterly business plan, we get a set amount of money per head to go and do an activity. It's not like going out and drinking or eating food.
No.
I took my team to go ape up in Newcastle.
Fantastic, yeah.
There were some scared individuals. I was one of them. There was some of them jumping off this and the other. It was great. And it's just team building again. It's all that kind of stuff. And I think Lane 7 was where we went for our Christmas do.
Well, there you go.
And stuff like that. Again, it's just brilliant ways of, a bit competitive, but at the same time, it's just something a bit different, isn't it?
It is a bit different.
So
It's a bit
important
good.
to get right. So slightly different change tack now.
Yeah.
So you work in education. What's the biggest challenge that you're seeing? What's the biggest challenges to schools that you're seeing at the moment?
Candidate recruitment. There's a lack of candidates ultimately. So everyone's kind of vying for teachers, teaching assistants, and there's just no one out there ultimately because everyone's got jobs or there's a lot of people leaving the profession. And I think that's probably the reason as to why there's a candidate shortage because people are leaving education. They don't want to be teachers anymore. Workload's too much. The stress is too much. What they're getting asked is probably too much. And that's the biggest issue, I think, across education is there's just no teachers out there. Everyone's going abroad when you can obviously a lot of them are going to Dubai, for example, because it's tax-free, salaries are brilliant, to get the houses paid for, get car allowance and everything. So there's a draw to go abroad. And even when I was teaching towards the end, I started applying to go to Dubai because that was the place where people were moving to. And candidate shortage is a big thing, and just us trying to get around that. Different strategies of getting people in, different ways of getting people in. So we're always thinking of new ways of doing it, and maybe this might work. I don't know.
Get in touch.
Get in touch. 01325.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, and I think the problem with that is it's kind of like a negative feedback loop, right? Because if you're losing candidate, it's like the workload because obviously you've got less pool of workforce and they're trying to do that. So you're trying to like swim against the tide to build the workforce up. And I suppose collectively, at least for teachers in the profession doing it, collectively that should be able to ease the burden.
I mean, we even get kind of teachers that leave the schools that they're at, come to us on a supply basis, and then go back into the schools that they've been to.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're going at 8:30, do what they like doing, which is the teaching element, and then leave at 3:00 and not have to plan, prep, mark, and then they can go home at 3:00. And schools, it's a weird one, but the schools are happy just for them to do that, ultimately.
I saw a really good video on social media. I can't recall the channel, and it was like what people think teachers do, and it had like your 8 till 5 hours in there. So it was like what the teaching. Everyone sees the 9 till 3 bit, so they grade that out. But then it was like it went from like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. and they were like they grade out the 9 till 3. What everyone thinks teachers do, and then they start like annotating other bits, and it's like lunchtime, but on duty or running around or doing meetings that needed to happen. Yeah. But then there's like meetings before school that they've had to do as well, or meetings after school that they've had to do, and they're still there. And then it's like you get to the end of the day, they've done the meetings, they've done the teaching, and then it's like now it's the marking, and the lesson prep. Yeah. And I've come from a family of 2 teachers. I grew up with 2 teachers. We had some fantastic summer holidays.
Are they looking for jobs or not?
Sorry?
No, they're looking for jobs.
No. Nice try. Not anymore. They've moved on, retired from teaching. But they had full careers in teaching.
Yeah.
And we had some lovely summer holidays. But I just remember them working in that term time. It was full bore all the time, and there's so much to take on. And it's very easy from when you're not in teaching to go, oh, look at the holidays.
I know.
Every teacher I've ever worked with has absolutely earned their holiday, 100%. And
They deserve it, to be fair.
They
yeah,
really
they
do.
They do, because it is hard graft. And I've had the pleasure of working in schools as a sports coach, as part of the PE department, and I loved it. It was brilliant. But I was fortunate that I wasn't the teacher in the sense, because I just did the coaching bit,
Yeah.
and then I could sit and read the newspaper in the staff room while you went and actually have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Whereas they were like chasing, and don't get me wrong, I'd be sorting and helping out where I could, but there's certain things I couldn't do because I'm just the sports coach at the end of the day. So I loved that, and it was some of the best times that I've had. And being in that pattern and environment, I really, really enjoyed it, to the point I was applying for teaching, and then I went down a different route. So,
What did you go down?
well, coaching, because I came from sport, and then marketing, obviously. Obviously. And then, but yeah, teaching something I've always sort of known, enjoyed, seen. But all I'd say is everyone sees the holidays and go, oh, look, he teaches.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
I've got a friend who he retrained as a teacher.
Right.
He absolutely loves it, and he gets his holidays. But by God, does he have to work hard during the week?
I think the only day off when I was teaching that I had was probably a Saturday, because Monday to Friday it was like you'd go and do your clubs and stuff after school. You'd go home, saw my kids for a couple of hours, put them to bed, back on my laptop, switching off at 11, same thing the next day. Saturday I had a full day off, and then Sunday morning I'd be like again prepping till maybe lunchtime or whatever for the coming week and stuff. And then it's one of them, it's like life's sometimes tough when you come to teaching. And then you get your holidays. But during the Easter holidays, for example, we were doing revision sessions for the GCSEs that were coming up, so we were in school. And like the 6 weeks holidays, I'd say I probably had a month off. But then the 2 weeks towards the end, I'd be prepping and planning and getting ready for the coming year. So teachers do deserve a good rest, but at the same time, they're always doing stuff, even during holidays.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Well, when my mum was off during the holidays and she used to be a head teacher, she was in school. She was in school after school had broken up, and she was in school before school had returned. Sort of thing for a good chunks of time. But I suppose the trade-off is you get those chunks of holidays, and it's a nice way of doing it. But I think it's a great industry, and I think that you can play a part, to help it be more enjoyable for people.
No, exactly.
Whether it's easing the burden for schools that are short on staff and they need help, and you can help with that, or whether it's you've got this workforce that want to do supply teaching, like the variability, and you can help put them into work.
Yeah, we've got teachers that want like long-term positions when they're coming in to do supply, but we also have teachers that don't mind a little bit of difference and they want to go to different schools. So we get like the ECTs, early career teachers, are the new student teachers that are coming through. Yeah. They've only maybe done 2 placements.
Right.
So they've only been in 2 schools across their training year. So they actually come on supply because they want to go and try some different schools to get some different ideas, and you're always picking up different things and different skills from different schools that you go to, and then they'll get to a school and think, I love it here and I want to stay here, and then that's when we then put in place where they're there on a temporary position and get taken
Move to
as a
permanent.
Yeah.
No, it's a really nice thing. And I think, as you said, though, you've obviously got to love your job as teaching.
Oh, yeah.
And, I remember very pleasant days with my teachers and, way back then. It's obviously different now. But as I say, you almost looked upon that teacher as your guiding soul, because they were trying to push you in the area of where they thought you were going to do. And they were always willing to help, always willing to talk. But yeah, I must admit, there was a few kids that I'm sure they could have batted. But that, that's just life. That's just life.
It's a simple way of putting it.
Yeah, no, but
I think you always remember the really good teachers that you really liked, and you remember the ones you absolutely hated. The ones in the middle is a bit of a blur. You can't really remember them, I don't think.
No, bless. But laughing what you were saying about the chunk of wood. I do remember back then, quite rightly, thankfully, touch wood, I was never involved in stuff like that. But one teacher I remember flinging his chalkboard. Yeah, the duster, flinging it and smacking this kid off the back. But to be fair, the kid deserved it, But back then, it's just a case of like he shrugged it off. you know.
It was a different time.
It was a different time.
I think it's all we can say with that.
No, but
The
it's...
teacher with the blocker would never hit anyone with it, I must stress. It was always just
No,
a
it was
bang,
just to do
bang,
it.
like a gavel. Is it a
Yeah,
gavel?
gavel,
Judge's
something like
hammer.
that. Judge's hammer,
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
that. It's just a very unique approach to it, really.
But no, some of my teachers, as you quite rightly said, I remember them vividly.
Yeah.
Because you almost felt as though they were the ones guiding you through life.
Well,
You know.
it's true, isn't it?
It is true.
Everyone has that, and I think
Yeah.
it's important that.
No, definitely.
The bit for me from my teaching was like you can be the best teacher in the world, but for me it was the ones that then wanted them to go on to become PE teachers
Yes.
because of obviously
What
the
you've
impact
done.
that I've had on them. And again, like I still get messages from some of them saying, "So I'm here. They still call me sir. And I'm like, you don't need to call us sir anymore." But like they've gone on to become PE teachers, and I love that because that's obviously I've had that big an impact on them that they've gone on and then gone, "Yeah, I want to."
I know you're like, are you looking for supply?
Yeah, and then I'm like, "Any teachers?"
Any teachers, any supply?
Yeah, exactly. Always on the lookout. Always on the lookout.
Honestly, I've got business cards everywhere I go. I literally just give them to people. Because I was in the co-op the other day and someone was like, "Sir," and I was like, and I turned around and I was like, "Hey, it's one of the kids from my kids' school." So, because they call them subs, and I'm like, "What's a sub?" I thought they meant a sandwich. We call them substitutes. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then I've basically got my kids to, if there's any supply teachers in their schools that aren't ours, I give them £10 referral fee. So I kind of get like, I shouldn't say that anyway, but I'm not going to tell you which school they're in. But,
No,
but yeah, get
hilarious.
referral fees. It's cool. So anyway,
Kids are out there going,
Honestly, my little one was giving cards out left, right, and centre. I was like, "Who are you giving them to?"
Anybody.
My lad would probably have a go at that. He's obsessed with entrepreneurship and sort of business stuff. He really is. Like he'll. We went to a car boot sale. And I think coming on to that, like bringing up kids and educating them. My passion is a bit to educate, especially my lads, around what you can do outside of, like, you've got your education, it's fantastic, but then it's like, my gripe is when I set up my business, I was like, how do I actually set up a business? Like, I don't know, like, I had to like trip over all the steps and fumble, and so I'm really keen to try and offer a bit of advice to people that are kind of going, how do I do it? And I'm like, well, there's this thing called Companies House, and you've got HMRC, and these are, that you pay tax for your limited company, and it's corporate, all that sort of stuff that you had to learn. Anyway, we went to this car boot sale, and he, said, right, you can have 50% of the take-ins. He did not leave the stand all day long. And even to the point, I'm like, do you need to go to the toilet? And he's like, no, because what if we have customers? I was like, right, you need to go to the toilet. I'll do that, don't worry. I'm not going to penalise you for it. But it's amazing how kids can take an idea, especially with a bit of entrepreneurship type activities, and really run with it.
Well, if you look at Dan, obviously Dan works with me now, and that was purely because of my love for computers passed on to him.
Yep.
And I remember, and I think I've said this story before, got him a Nintendo, got him all of stuff, and he was absolutely loving playing the games. But I had my IBM PC, and I was busy taking it apart and trying to upgrade it. And I just remember and there was Dan. He's like, "What are you doing, Dad?" And I'm like, "I'm fixing a PC." And I'm like, "Go play your games." He went, "No, I'm interested." And that has developed into me taking him on now. And he's an absolute genius.
You're his teacher, he's a mentor, aren't you?
Absolutely, but he's an absolute genius at building gaming PCs. He's way beyond me in doing that, but that's all down to him and me. So I was teaching him, this is this. So it's great if you do that.
And it's important to get that right. How do you look for that sort of, how do you look for the candidates that will inspire and encourage like the next generation coming through? As in
sourcing them and trying to
find what I suppose there's a few challenges.
So we use a lot of jobs boards. So like obviously the main ones, CV Library, Indeed, and we've got our own website and stuff that we kind of post on. We've got a lot of events like jobs fairs, careers events,
right.
And I do a lot of work with the teacher training providers. So a lot of the schools or the universities have got obviously courses where they're running student teachers and stuff like that. So I'll try and get into them. And again, I've got some really good relationships.
Yeah.
And my teaching background has helped me get that, because when they find out that I was a teacher, I know where I've been and what I've done, I can relate to the student teachers that are coming through. So they do invite me in to do seminars, and obviously I'll do a little bit on employment and stuff. And then ultimately it's about supply at the end. More of a reassurance than anything. Like, if you don't find a job, here's your fallback. Because a lot of them will find jobs because of the shortage. They will get a job directly, probably at a school if they make their applications. But the ones who maybe aren't as confident in interviews, because obviously the interview process for teaching is quite intense.
Yeah.
Brilliant teachers, more often than not, just struggle to get across themselves on the interview process. So they'll come on supply, and again, if they come on supply, they like the school likes them. After 3 months, the schools just take them because they are brilliant teachers. and they've negated the whole interview process.
Yeah, so touch on that. So I'm aware because I was invited as a stakeholder to be involved at Darlington College.
Yeah.
As a business person, like who we work with, and they were like, "Come and be part of this part of questioning."
Yeah.
There was all these different elements. So what are the candidates facing in a classic interview at school?
So, I mean, obviously, it's the massive long application form, first and foremost. Everyone's different. Like, every form's different. For me, like, back in the day, I was like, why don't you just standardise it and just have one form across all the schools and everyone does the same? Because then they can just keep putting the same application in. But, I mean, the application form itself probably took 2 days at least to complete. And then, again, it's different. So, like, sometimes you'll go in, you'll normally teach a lesson that you've prepped and planned. You'll normally be interviewed by the students, so like a bit of a student panel. And then you'll get to lunchtime. If your lesson's been good and the students like what they've heard, some teachers at that point might be either say, that's not for me, or the school will go, no, you're not for us. And then you're down to 2 or 3. Then you have your interview where you've got the set questions and stuff. And the best thing probably about the process itself was you've got the teaching standards on this application form that you've gone through, and the questions that the head teacher will ask around the teacher will be based around those teaching standards, and the questions will be specific, and you'll get graded on how you answer that question. And again, if you've ticked all the boxes on all the questions, you're more likely to then get offered the job. So again, it's just a case of it's difficult. It's difficult.
I can imagine.
It's difficult.
Can you imagine the interview process? Adam, last question. Why the block of wood?
Yeah. You'll find out. Make a noise. But I agree. And I think, having experienced it from my side, where I was just with a couple of businesses, local thing, I was privileged to be invited to come along, and there was like a student group.
Yeah, they're the worst. They're the scariest.
Yeah.
Because they ask you some random questions, and you're like, what?
There was I think a lot of it was to do with the price of lunch at the canteen, because it's a motivator. So I think they had 3 different panels at this section that they all had to rotate through.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So they've done like the teach and they've done, it's amazing what they're doing.
God,
I mean, at least you know that they're going to get a good, but I'd argue everybody we interviewed, they've got all the qualifications. They were all really nice people to talk to. Yeah. It's such a grueling process.
It is.
It really is.
And 9 times out of 10, there's a candidate that's there on the day that's an internal candidate, or the school already are aware of them. So you go through that entire process just for the sake of doing it, and they give it to the person who's already working in the school. You just think, why have I just wasted my entire week prepping and planning? And then it's like, why have I just done that? Just give it to them.
Yeah, but
it's a process, isn't it? It's a process.
It is a process they've got to follow. So you were saying that obviously you're the area manager for Darlington. You're part of an umbrella group, the Affinity and stuff like that. What's the plans for the next 5 years? I mean, world domination?
That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be lovely. No, I mean, touched on it earlier. So we obviously have a framework in place where we're linked to the government. It's called the Crown Commercial Service. And a lot of the multi-academy trusts now are looking to move towards a framework. And I think education, as my director would say, is a little bit slow at the party, where there's frameworks for healthcare, there's frameworks for all kinds of stuff across the country or whatever. And I think ultimately that's where businesses or schools will come to. They'll come to us for a framework, for example. Some of the other agencies have cottoned onto that now, and they're trying to, align with other frameworks and stuff like that as well. But we'd love to be the biggest, if not the biggest, in the entire country. So there's always opportunities for investment, but it's just about growth. So my particular part at the moment is, so I'm growing York. So we're in the process of getting an office in York, and we're building. We've already got business there, so it's a case of we're there now, and a little bit like similar to Darlington. So when I first came 9 years ago to Darlington, there was myself and a primary consultant. That was it. Now I've got an office of 7 because we've just spread and developed, and we're going to have the same, hopefully, business model
that's
come
great
York.
news.
So
it's a good success story then.
Oh, honestly, I'm proud as punch.
It should be.
The staff and stuff, and the business and how it's gone and stuff. And it's been supportive. And like I said, we've gone from strength to strength. So it's a case of...
What do you think then is obviously with that growth, what do you think is the most important factor that you've had to consider, like to grow the business, retain staff?
Yeah.
Obviously, you pool of talent that you're working with for the supply side of things.
Again, and I think as much as it's a candidate shortage market for us in terms of teachers and teaching assistants, it's also very hard finding some really good recruitment consultants.
Yeah.
So I think that nowadays people want the world and not work hard for it. Yeah. And I think it's trying to find those right type of personality traits that are going to mainly fit in with what I've already got. And I've got some very unique individuals, but they all bring a little bit something to the office. So I think honesty is for me the most important. And I think if you get someone who's honest and doesn't try and pull the wool over your eyes, they're going to succeed if they're going to work hard. And like our job, I always push it as if you come on your desk, it's like being self-employed. So the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So if you're willing to go that extra mile, or follow up with a school that you've contacted or whatever, just do what you say you're going to do, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, Adam, because we've had a number of recruitment companies specific. We obviously have Stuart Bridgewater. We had our friends from. Goodness me, that's going to Careers Plus. Thank you. As soon as and they were IT. You're obviously in education. May I ask, is education the only thing that you concentrate on? Yeah. So again, specialist in your field.
Yeah, it's our specialist. It's niche. We do get like administration roles and stuff like that as well that come through in schools, but again, it's quite hard to find someone who's already been in a school that's already done admin, because you're looking, they ask for specific systems that they use and they want that kind of experience. And it's hard to kind of find those people because normally they're in schools and in working already.
I know Class Dojo.
That's a good program, that.
Yeah. Well, I know it from parents' side. But I did actually know, don't employ me, because I accidentally set myself up as a child.
Oh, right. Well done. Okay.
Don't know how I did that.
Would you like some IT training?
Class Dojo. There's all those systems, though. You're right. There's Frog, there's Class Dojo, there's ISOM. Stuff, is it? There's all sorts of stuff that they need to sort of manage. And then it's also dealing with all the... Because the admin, I think often the admin is one of the most... unsung heroes of a school.
Absolutely.
Because they are the gatekeepers, as you'll know, because you'll have to deal with the gatekeepers when you're trying to reach out to, say, a new school, and let's say you're approaching a school. Obviously, they are there to gatekeep, and they're getting everything from people inquiring about waste management service, people inquiring about recruitment, parents going, so-and-so's off sick, and they've not pressed the right extension number to go through the right,
I'll try all the extension numbers if you need to try and get to someone.
Exactly.
I'll call the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what they're ultimately dealing with. And I just think, when we, like Adam's at school right now, he's had to go through the admin, so we've had to make sure that they're aware that we're coming and what who we're visiting and this, that, and the other. They have such a task, and meanwhile they're getting bombarded by staff, by parents, by pupils, the whole lot. I think they're absolutely true.
The gatekeepers are the ones to keep happy. So I'd always encourage obviously when the new consultants come in, I'll always encourage them to take like an extra bag of chocolates to give to the gatekeeper. Remember who they are and ask about them as well, because they're the ones that are going to put us through ultimately.
No, exactly. It's an interesting point you make. I must admit that I made sure that when I was growing resilient, the biggest thing that I remember one person saying to me is when I would speak to the customer, at the end of the day, if I was speaking to Adam, it would be like, oh, hi, Adam, it's Andy from Resilient Systems. And I wouldn't, using your analogy of the business card, Adam, I wouldn't immediately go, I'm ringing up about your computer. I'd be like, how's it going, Adam? How's your family? How's the kids? How's Corey? And it's not hard to make yourself that little bit different. And that's what I was mentioning earlier in the program. When I've heard your staff, they're talking to the people as not as a mate, but as if they are friendly with them. And I think it makes me smile, because I'm like, that's exactly what I do. I make sure I understand who I'm speaking to, and they've become one of my friends now.
I always say it's about how they feel.
Yes.
Rather than what we can get out of them. It's like, we want business ultimately, but they're only going to give us that if they feel comfortable telling us, talking, whatever. And I always say, again, to my newbies that come in, so I actually won one of our biggest schools just by taking in a fidget spinner. So I found out it was the contact's son's birthday, and I think he was 7 at the time, or 6 at the time, and I took him in a fidget spinner. And after that, we just flourished, our relationship flourished, and now they're just come to us for everything. And it's just that little, it's £5, do you know what I mean? And we've got a school spending thousands of pounds with us, just because I remembered it was a son's birthday.
It's a bit of thought, I think, is the key.
I think that goes a long way in any business, though. And I've certainly, with respect to yourself, Adam, I've heard you, Adam and Alina, speaking to your customers, if you like. And again, it's not as if it's like a customer-business relationship. It's almost like, oh, hi, Andy, hi. It's really nice to hear.
Last week, we had a client who said they're ready to do like the next level of the next thing that we're looking like. We've got a framework of what we're working on in terms of what we're going to deliver in a journey, and they're going, right, we're ready to do that. And I've gone, and that would mean we get paid some more money, right? Okay, more work. We're ready to do that. And I'm like, actually, through the process so far, I've uncovered this, or not uncovered it. I think that this actually needs changing.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to do, like, yes, I could do some more advertising. I could take your money. We could pay for paid ads and this, that, and the other. But I'm more concerned that it won't be optimised for you. So I've actually kicked the can down the road going, within this, this needs still to be developed and done. We need to defer that slightly, which does mean that I'm deferring earnings.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do.
But they'll buy into you more for doing that.
And I said to them, so I'm going to have the changes over that we need to do this week. It's to do paid ads. So I'm like, it's, how are we doing the marketing journey and wine and dining people and bringing them in and giving them, because the problem with web, as you know, you're a back button away from just losing them completely.
Absolutely.
So you could pay for the ad you did. And like, my concern is we're not optimized so that actually you won't see the results that I think we could get. So I'd rather kick it down the line and go like that. And sometimes it's so important to do that. And that's, again, it comes from thought. And I think people can go, oh, fidget spinner, that's such a gimmick. And it's like, no, you put some thought in, because the whole point, people focus on the fidget spinner. They don't focus on the point. And he said, son's birthday.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it?
That's the difference.
It's a little bits like that make you memorable, like you were saying.
Buy teams.
Yeah, that's the target.
That's my target.
Yeah.
So you were saying about the, obviously the staff you got said. They are, excuse me, they are, shall I say, youthful staff. Mm-hmm. Is that deliberate?
Not really, no.
Right.
Again, I just think, I've got ex-car salesmen, I've only got, again, I prefer to hire people who haven't come from a consultancy background. Because I think if you've already done the job, pick up some really bad habits.
Yeah.
And once you pick up those bad habits, you can't get them out of it. So they are a bit youthful. And I think that's maybe energetic, passionate.
Definitely.
I've got a couple of people a little bit older than, obviously I've got the younger ones. I think the range is between 22 and 27 younger ones. But they've all come from a different mix of backgrounds. So some have been at uni, some have been car salesmen, some have done recruitment before, but in a different sector.
Yeah.
But no, not really. It's just who came through the door, who impressed us, who fits the bill, basically. And again, the team have decided whether or not they fit the bill, because after the first process that I've done where I've interviewed them, I thought, they've got something about them. I'll then put them in there with the rest of the team. The team can then do it. They can decide.
Absolutely.
And I'll always ask for feedback from them. What do you think? And if they're all like, really good, really good, really good. But if there's that one that goes, there's something that's not quite right, and then you got to unpick that a little bit more, and then it's just helpful for a team decision. Because if they do get the job, everyone's bought into them before they've even come in.
Car sales, that's really interesting. So what would you say car sales do well?
So I'm glad you asked that, because basically I didn't look at him for being a car salesman. What I looked at him as was he's going to be working less hours for us, and he's going to get his weekends back for us. Because we do work long hours anyway during the week, my draw to him was he's a bit of a cheeky chappy, nice personality, a bit rough around the edges, but he's worked some massively long hours. He'll work from 8 till 6 during the week and only has one day off on the weekend. So that was a draw for me to him. Great personality, but I know that he was going to stick at it. And again, I think some of the younger generation, I would probably say, don't want to work those long hours. They don't want to work that hard. And
No,
they're not going to be as successful as someone who's done those hours already. So it's a blessing in disguise for him, because he's come in, he's worked Monday to Friday now, and he gets his whole weekend off. The only thing is he supports Man City, which is a bit rubbish. But that was the draw.
So is the plan to grow even more people? Because obviously that office could fit more.
Yeah, we will. We'll be looking. So again, we've got 3 secondary consultants and we've got 3 primary at the moment. And I think primary, there's so many primary schools around the region. It's mental. So we'll look to probably grow that side of the business. But we're looking at getting a resourcer in to help do the clearances and all the compliance side of things as well, to speed it up. But again, this will grow, this office, but also York's exciting as well. So
I can imagine.
I love that you're pulling from different areas. Car sales is a tough gig because everyone thinks, you're selling, you sell, all this sort of stuff. It's like, no, they have to spend hours on the forecourt waiting for someone to come on. Someone comes on, you've then got to go and try and go, hi, anything you're interested in? It's that standoff that you, even though someone's there blatantly to look at potentially buying a car, but it's like this weird sort of
customer service though, again, doesn't it?
It
comes back down to customer service. That's all it is. Good customer service. People buy from people.
So what do you do to switch off? Because obviously I see what I'd like to say about the whole office. It's high energy. It really is high energy. Honestly, I love it. One of the things that not impressed me as such, but was very nice for me, is that when you first moved in, obviously I met you because of the small Wi-Fi problem, but that was like deliberately with you. Then in the kitchen area, 2 of your staff came along and they were just hi, so who are you? And that was really nice.
What, nosy?
Nosy, yeah, but no, it was really nice.
I think there's a lot to be said for being a little bit nosy.
Absolutely.
Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from?
Where are you from? That's right.
Yeah, no.
take an actual interest, not just go.
So now it was nice. It was like, hi, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Are you interested in teaching? No, so
Honestly, they're always selling. It's great. It's a great trade.
no, so what do you do to switch off?
I like go to the gym, I go to the spa. I mean, can you say switch off when you're looking after 3 boys as well? I don't know. Can you say
Goodness
switch
me,
off
3
that?
lads. So there's a
I'm like a dad taxi, football. That's all I've ever seen them do and stuff. But no, gym, spa. I got to the spa quite a bit. Just switch off. Obviously, de-stress a little bit. And just chill out. Just watch films, whatever else. You just got to turn your phone off sometimes and just have a bit of downtime.
well, that's what you do, don't you? You've got your little thingamajiggy.
Yeah, it goes on Do Not Disturb, and then it goes on at a certain time, and then it goes other end of the house.
Yeah.
When I go to bed, it's not next to my bed.
I think obviously the candidates or the teachers will ring or text our consultants at daft times, and they'll be telling me, and I'll be like, right, you need to speak to them and tell them these are your working hours.
Yes.
Don't be messaging you or ringing you at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, why are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? I mean, who in the right mind is up at 1 o'clock ringing a consultant?
Because it's available, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I get that.
But no, I mean, obviously we do lots of different things, and like I said, I encourage them to get up and go out, and they'll walk around and wander around. They'll go for little walks and stuff like outside and stuff. And just sometimes when you can see someone's having a bad day, like, come on, we're going to go and get a coffee somewhere.
Yeah.
And the chocolate milk from the machine downstairs is something else. I don't know if you've had a chocolate milk.
Might have to go check it out.
Honestly,
Like milk.
yeah, really. But no,
Well,
like
listen.
just little daft things. And I think the beauty of this place is you can go to the atrium and sit and watch telly and have a
absolutely.
coffee. Our old place, you just didn't have anywhere to go.
No.
Yeah, I sometimes do just
Walk.
walk and have a
Absolutely.
sit down there. I just like, if I need to, especially, I'm doing a lot of branding work at the moment, so I'm like in it. I find I've got to A, switch off the outside world while I work on that piece of work, and then B, go, right, that's enough for that today.
Yes.
I need to now have some space, and then before I go into the next piece of branding work, I need to go for a little stretch of the legs or
You should come up and have a game of darts.
play darts. I'll do that.
Come play Doms and Dishes. We'll get
Doms
that
and
going.
dishes,
Yeah.
toilet tag.
Toilet tag. I'll eat your shoulders, toilet tag. I will do that. We'll do
that.
We'll do you versus our office toilet tag.
Exactly. Flush me.
Flush me.
Yeah, honestly.
So I was going to say that has been tremendous. What a great insight to your business. What a great insight to the team. It's been fascinating.
Yeah, I've loved it.
I've loved
Really
every
good.
minute of that. That's flown by. So,
Are we done? Good effort.
honestly,
Very much, yeah.
Thank you for having
what do
us.
we always end the week with, my friend?
Yeah, so we always ask everybody what you're doing at the weekend. We're a few days earlier
Yes.
today.
Just today. Yeah,
But yeah, so what
Due
you
to
doing at the
workload?
weekend? What's your weekend look like?
I might have a date, and that's all I'm saying.
Whoa.
Might have
Just
a
leave
date.
that one
You
there.
lucky
Leave
guy,
that
Adam.
one there. I'll update
Okay.
you. I'll update you next week.
Okay.
we'll
Fair
see.
enough. Good luck.
No, well, good luck with that, my friend. What about
What
yourself?
about you?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, me.
Yeah, what about you, my friend?
Well, beer festival's on at the rugby club, just to let everyone know.
Ah, yes, of course.
You're not around.
I'm not around, but when you ask
Yeah,
me.
so that's on at rugby club. I am not playing rugby this weekend due to my
You would have only have
shoulder.
lost.
Yeah, so it's maybe a good thing. They might stand a chance of winning that.
Bless you. You have
so
been going through a bit of
family
hard
weekend,
time.
really, to be honest. Just family for me this weekend. That's the plan.
Good. About time, though,
Yeah.
my friend.
Yep. What about you, sir?
So this weekend is a very special weekend for us. So
Okay, that's good. Right, and that's the end of. No, go on then. Not that you've gone on about it.
No,
Go
it's not
on
that.
then.
No,
Tell
no,
us.
no, no, no.
Tell us. I'm interested.
Yeah, so one of my cousins is Anna Kennedy. You won't know her, but if you're in the world of where she's got 2 autistic kids and a husband, and she runs Autism's Got Talent, and she runs autism awards, etc., like that. I think still, I'd need to double check, but the patron of her company is Esther Ransom. So she's very good. She starred on Come Dancing, Celebrity Come Dancing, and stuff like that. So anyway, it's Autism Awards this weekend. So we're travelling down to London, where We Resilient are sponsoring one of the awards.
Nice.
So she rang us up and I was like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh, we're doing this Autism Awards thing. And I went, oh, tell me more. And then I went, can I sponsor one? And so, yeah, we're going down. We're going to have a swanky hotel evening, and it's going to be a lovely award, tucks and tails and stuff like that. So really, really looking forward to it.
I look forward to seeing some photographs.
Definitely. So I'm really looking forward to
looking
about 3 o'clock on,
brilliant.
12 o'clock on Friday. We're going to switch off, take a slow drive down, nice meander, staying with some good friends over there. And then Saturday, yeah, we're in this posh, swanky hotel for an award evening. So really looking forward to it.
Pretty awesome, that.
Yeah, looking forward
Also,
to
I
it.
must shout out Andy before we go, because we had Team Luke on. So Team Luke Foundation,
Oh, yeah.
Neuroblastoma Children's Cancer Charity. They're doing a family fun day on the 10th of May, which we had Mark on last week. Andy said on the podcast last week he would sponsor them.
Yeah.
they've put the money where the mouth is. They are now signed up and paid up as a sponsor for the Team Luke Foundation. So big thank you
for
to
that.
And, Mark says, obviously, he said thank you personally, but obviously a huge thank you for that. So just, if anyone listened last week, Andy's done what he said.
I did do
which is what you talked about before, about doing what you said, and I'm a big believer in that, by the way.
No, definitely.
It's really nice. It's really
No,
good.
it's really good. So thank you very much again. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you for
Really,
having me.
really,
Thank
really,
you.
really,
Much
really good.
appreciated.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll have you on again.
Love to.
Maybe a year's time to see where you've grown. Your office will be 25 people.
There's too many.
That would be noisy, wouldn't it? Be like
That'll be a
family.
big game of toilet
That
talk.
would be a big game of toilet talk.
We'll have to do it in the atrium.
On that note, flush me.
Flush you. There we go. Take care, guys. See you later.
See you later.
Bye bye.